All right. So I'm obviously going to make this segment a YouTube video. But this is like one of the very rare times where I feel the need to like make a summary, but put it before the video, because we just watched a lot of like information on Johnny Depp thing. And like I do in most of my videos is I kind of explore information. I don't do what most other people do. I don't come on and be like, okay, I have all these down. I watch stuff on stream, and that's basically where I educate myself. So a lot of times you're going through my journey of educating myself on a particular topic. That's how I do content. I like to do content like that. I think it's more fun. It's more fresh. That's just how I do it. But there was so much information and things went so back and forth. It's so hard to find like a grounded stance on like what you believe about this topic. And so I just want to like, give you my take on it before it starts, just so that, it's clear. After looking through all this stuff, what it seems to me is first and foremost, this probably, I think, obviously should have really never, I don't even know if I want to say it should never come to public light. It seems like both of them they both have issues with the way that they interact with each other. And they both seem to be toxic, and they both were in a toxic relationship. However, in my opinion, after kind of going back and forth, it seems like she was much worse in the way that she interacted with him than he was with her. Maybe giving them both the tremendous amount of the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they brought the worst out in each other, but she seemed to be more abusive than Johnny Depp. He seemed to break things and get angry and tussle around and break things, which is scary. It can definitely be scary. But when she got angry, she seems to hit him. And so I don't know how reasonable it is after that to think. And they both seem to have some kind of like substance abuse issues or substance dependency, we'll say. It seems to be alcohol for him, maybe like Ambien or whatever other things for her. They both seem to have a dependency on those substances. But yeah, she seems worse. And she seems to use the fact that she's smaller and weaker, that's by comparison, as excuses for her. It's okay for her to like hit him. She's like, I didn't hit you, I slapped you, She also drinks. Okay, yeah. So there you go. Maybe they're both better people when they're not with each other. It seems like, again, Johnny Depp. Honestly, bro, listen, it was a wild ride educating myself on this, but it does seem like she's worse, and I could totally understand why people are so frustrated. So, I just wanted to say that beforehand, though, so this way, because it goes up and down as I educate myself. We look through a lot of stuff here, so this way people know. They don't come in going like, Papa God, I can't believe you. It's like, okay, let me root out my feelings. All right. So,
and what did you say?
Whoa, relax. All right. So this is called, people have been asking me to cover like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial recap, but there's like 8 hours a day, multiple days. So there's not a whole lot. I am not super interested in sitting down and watching 8-hour streams a day of Johnny Depp. I obviously feel for the guy, but like, that's not, so luckily, somebody has put together a trial recap, full breakdown and analysis, I guess up until now. This is from today, actually. This is released today, it looks like. It's from Heavy Spoilers. And yeah, it's called Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial recap, full breakdown and analysis. So let's give this the old watchy poo.
And what did you say in response when Miss Heard said, tell the world, Johnny, tell them Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, a man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence?
I said yes. I am.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, so Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard is probably the topic that's the most requested on my channel right now. The ongoing defamation lawsuit ends up trending every day, and though it's not the kind of topic I tend to cover, I do think it's important to acknowledge because there's a lot of things going on with it. The case is tied in so heavily with Depp and Amber's career, and it means a lot for the future of not only the DCEU, but also several films surrounding it. Now, I have my own opinions on the case, and it definitely seems like in the court of public opinion that Depp is completely demolishing Heard's team. We're pretty much at the halfway point now, and I really wanted to do more of an analytical video on why that could be, the main factors leading into it, and what the consequences for either side could be if the trial goes in their favour. Now, I have my own opinions on who's winning, but I'm going to try and keep them out of this as much as possible, as domestic abuse is a very serious subject that I don't really want to make the wrong statement on by dropping an off-the-cuff comment. With Heard also being a figurehead in the Me Too movement, there's some really untold negative things that could come from this if she's found guilty, and I don't want to put the impression in anyone's head that women shouldn't be taken seriously because of what the outcome is. All accusations of domestic abuse should be seen as very serious things, so yeah, just keeping my opinion out of this as much as I possibly can. Now, it will be difficult as this is something that everyone's going to have their own perspective on, but I think in a video like this, it's important to keep my personal view to one side, as it can often cloud the analysis. Anyway, like many people, I was very much on the side of Amber Heard when the accusations first came out. These were extremely serious things that she was lobbying against Depp, and the images of her bruises and so on definitely made it look like she was the sole victim in all of this. The Me Too movement then happened, and it felt like a very positive thing that was removing lots of predators and abusers from high-profile positions so that they couldn't do it anymore. I must admit, I wasn't a massive Johnny Depp fan, and though I liked some of his movies...
I mean, then who could? I mean, dude, what is he doing? I mean, I guess Jack Sparrow was his best job, really. I mean, come on, bro. This guy's dressing up with scissor hands. Although, if you really think about it, like, when she showed up her bruises and stuff, do you think that maybe it was an accident? Because his hands are made of scissors. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think of it like that.
He wasn't someone whose career I followed all the time. Now, the papers completely tore him apart, and there was very much a pile-on the internet to the point it became difficult for the guy to make a public appearance without being called a wife-beater. I remember when the guy appeared on stage as Grindelwald during a Fantastic Beasts panel, and yet it was a very bad look due to the accusations. However, over time there started to be people going to his defense, including high-profile celebrities and his loyalist supporters. Lots of evidence came to the forefront that seemed to debunk all of Heard's claims, and over time, things have kind of swung in the favour of Johnny, with it seeming less and less likely that he was the only person at fault. Now, Depp and Heard had a face-off in court in the UK, and he ended up losing it, which pretty much meant he had to be ousted from Fantastic Beasts.
Wow.
Though there was lots of evidence that he supplied showing Heard was in fact the abusive one, this verdict very much meant that Warner Brothers had to let go of Depp from one of their flagship franchises. Now, Heard managed to keep her role in Aquaman, even with all the photos of bruises, Depp's injuries, and the recordings. A petition started online to have her removed from the role, and it currently has millions of signatures on it, but up till now, she's remained in place. Now, that kind of takes
Really? I thought she got removed. Is that true? Wow.
The current case, which is now on its 9th day. Things have done a complete 180 since the original statement by Heard, and it seems like everyone's on Depp's side. There's lots of comments that I've seen asking why Depp has even come to court after the previous loss. I think when you look at what's happened, he has very little to lose. Depp has been branded a wife-beater, and if he loses, he's still going to be called that. This is at least getting his side of the story out there, because it's rare that men are taken as seriously as women in domestic abuse cases. On the other side of this, if Amber loses, it not only destroys her career, but it potentially exposes her for what she really is. Now, for this part of the video, I want to firstly discuss the psychological...
She didn't get replaced? Wow, I thought that she did.
...aspects that are in effect to show why Depp is clearly more favourable over Heard. This boils down to the legal team's approach, and how it very much mirrors what Depp is accusing Amber of. Now, court hearings are very different in normal arguments and interactions. In real life, if someone was standing around saying you'd done this and that, you'd probably stand up, deny it, argue with them, and then that would escalate. However, in a court, people have to remain silent whilst the person they're against testifies, and thus they can't respond or reply to it. Because of this, the legal team very much becomes the voice of their client, and it's in this that it can also leave an impression on the jury. Now, during the statement by Depp and Heard's marriage counsellor, she said that Johnny didn't really have a voice in their sessions. Amber constantly talked over the top of him, and would interrupt whenever he said something that wasn't going her way. This is very much reflected in Heard's legal team.
Oh, damn, I didn't know that. Wait, is that like a conflict for the therapist to be like saying that? Like, does that ruin her credibility, or did the court like be like, hey, you have to talk about this because it's relevant to the case? I wonder. That's really interesting. Yeah, that's obviously a sign that somebody won't let the other person express themselves. That's obviously a sign that they're trying to hide something. How the fuck you gonna railroad somebody?
It's getting to the point that there's TikTok videos memeing how many objections and comments like hearsay are said by Heard's lawyers.
Objection calls for hearsay.
Let me ask you a different question, Mr. Depp.
Yes. Let's let him object to another one. He'd had a conversation with Ms. Heard.
Hearsay.
Let's move beyond the conversation that Kevin Murphy had with Ms. Heard.
He said, yes, they had. Okay. It appears that Ms. Heard had told...
Hearsay or...
Well, I mean, it sounds like it's hearsay is when you say something that somebody else said, right? I don't even know how to spell hearsay. Who cares? Information received from other people that one cannot adequately substantiate. Yeah, so like I can understand why they would be like, "Oh, it's hearsay." I mean, that's what the lawyer's job is. That's what they're supposed to do. So.
Not to fight.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
What she would like for him to cook. That's hearsay, I guess.
I know, I just sure was offering the truth of the matter, sir.
He got it.
Okay, all right, well then.
I'm learning.
Now what this does is that it reinforces the idea in the jury that Johnny doesn't have a voice. Like the marriage counsellor said, Johnny keeps getting interrupted, so her defense doing this makes it seem like Heard also did the same thing. Now on the flip side of this, Johnny's defense are quite chilled, laid back, and for the most part, they let people talk and answer the questions without interrupting them, so it seems like Johnny is that way too. The jury subconscious will be affected by this, so that Amber's side...
That's interesting. That's an interesting point. I didn't really think of it like that. Because that doesn't really matter when it comes to like a court. Like none of that doesn't matter whatsoever. Like the fact that they're constantly objecting to him, and the fact that like they're not objecting to what she's saying, that doesn't actually mean anything, except for in like the court of public appeal. So it's interesting that the commentary right now, which I actually think is very interesting. I don't know. I keep using that word. Centralizes around the court of public appeals. It's like, oh, it looks like, you know, it looks like it reflects the way that they're interacting reflects on the way people are perceiving the case, which is probably true. It's just interesting in the way that they make that point. I never really thought of it like that. And I wonder if they're trying to win the court of public appeal. I doubt it. I feel like that's just like what's happening. Is Amber Heard making multiple like hearsay statements or statements that would be considered hearsay? Because that would be another factor as well.
It seems like the aggressive one. Hell, it's even gotten so bad that Heard's lawyers are objecting their own questions.
You didn't know what could cause damage to Mr. Depp's hand while you were there on March 8th, correct?
Dr. Kipper told me he sustained an injury on one of his fingers.
Objection, hearsay.
Wait, you asked the question.
Oh. Okay.
They're so locked into the fucking hearsay that he objected to his own fucking case. Wow, incredible. What a stupid fucking idiot. That's funny though. It's very funny.
Yikes. It's really bad, and the other aspects that I think they're failing on is the fact they're going after drug abuse rather than domestic abuse. Throughout the trial, they've tried to expose that Johnny was addicted to drugs and also alcohol.
Ah, interesting. Well, that's very interesting because we're having conversations as a society nowadays about how like just because you're some kind of an addict doesn't mean that you're a bad person. That's like actually a pretty big conversation we've all been having. Like, oh, he might drink a lot. I don't know if that would make you be an actual addict. You know, I think you could probably drink a lot without necessarily being an addict. But I mean, those are the conversations that we've been having as a society. So people are probably like, oh, so what if he drinks? That's normal. That's okay. I don't know how normal it is, but you know what I mean?
If you do a statement like this once, it can be quite shocking, especially with Depp being such a big star. We typically tend to think of actors as role models, so if used effectively, this can be very, very damaging. However, if you keep mentioning it, it normalizes the thing so that the shock factor is removed, and what you're left with is us hearing the same point over and over and over. Being addicted to drugs doesn't mean that you're an abusive person, so it's belaboring the point a bit to constantly keep bringing it.
No, it doesn't, but it does. I mean, like, if you know somebody who's truly addicted, like true addicts, you know, like, they're not exactly the most reputable people. And I'm not saying that to try to be disparaging on people who might be addicts. I'm just saying that, like, a lot of addicts have a lot of behaviors that are very shitty. They're very, like, blamey on the other person. They can be abusive. To kind of get their way if they feel like they need it. But, you know, I think there is the difference between like a drug addict versus somebody who like or rather like because we're talking about alcohol, like somebody who's an addict versus somebody who like engages in that like a lot. Like if he just likes to drink, I don't know if you would call that an addict. Maybe he would be alcohol dependent, but I would say that there's like a bit of a difference between like an addict and a dependent, like a dependency.
This up time and time again. This is made worse by the fact that the evidence they have for Johnny being abusive is very, very small, and nothing that can be completely proven. The counsel has said there was mention of an open-handed slap during a therapy session, but it's inconsequential when played next to the recordings of Heard on tape admitting to hitting Johnny. Now to me, the drug thing should be the first step that sets up Heard's team leading into the domestic abuse.
I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. Things have to change. Oh, interesting. Oh, they're playing the cultural game.
However, when the drugs take the focus, you completely lose the attention on the domestic side of it and end up just putting all your eggs in the proverbial basket of that, which doesn't necessarily give weight to any of the accusations. So I think the two main reasons that Heard's team is failing is because they're very much acting in attack mode but providing very little behind what they're saying. So they're going off on a certain path and trying to stop someone from giving their statement, whilst also interrupting the show. They have very little to actually give reason to why they're objecting. Now in recent days, some of the audio played by the lawyers was really bad, and Johnny referred to there being a bloodbath like there was at the island. Depp wasn't asked questions on this, so he couldn't elaborate, which again backs up the idea that he's not really getting a voice, even though he has been testifying a lot. Now context like this is important, and several texts have been presented by Heard's team between Depp and Paul Bettany. They talk about burning her, doing stuff with her corpse, and it looks really bad. However, Depp explained that he has a dark sense of humour, and that these are direct quotes from Monty Python in a scene about burning a witch. It kinda strips Heard's team of them being the MO that they initially thought it to be. Now there's also the Milani makeup statement. Heard's evidence has been questioned highly since she made her statement about Johnny, and she's often regarded as making the whole thing up and faking attacks for sympathy. There are several instances where she's apparently been heavily battered, but the next day when she's appeared on TV, she's been absolutely fine. During a statement, her lawyers showed a makeup palette. I think it's called palette, no idea. Anyway, they showed a Milani makeup palette that had apparently been in her purse for their entire relationship. They said it had been what she'd used to cover up her bruises, but Milani put out a post saying the kit wasn't available until they'd already broken up. Kit. I think Kit is right. So, anyway, this kind of shuts down her argument even more. And though the jury might not end up factoring this into their final thoughts, it is important to bear in mind. Now, the way that the trial ramped up was a very good strategy by Depp's team, and they brought in recordings where he talked about possibly taking his own life. This laid the groundwork for how Heard had pushed him to the brink, and it was absolutely devastating to hear. They then topped it up by playing audio clips of the argument between Depp and Heard.
Did you hear what I said?
I don't care. I don't care. There's plenty of things you've done. Plenty of things you've fucking done. They were absolute fucking lies.
I didn't
and
ever...
I didn't fuck with you about it. So anyway, don't leave it. So I'll see you in a bit, yeah?
Is that what matters?
Your lies.
Is this what matters to you, your party?
Your lies, man.
I never led you. And what we're talking about tonight is what? Who are you?
This then went into Depp confronting Heard and trying to work with her to confront the media.
We just gotta stop this. Just gotta stop it.
I don't know how to get my reputation back.
We write a letter together
That means
saying that we're gonna take this out of the public eye. Saying that we're gonna try and work this out on our own. Saying that the media has created such a fucking hateful storm that it's sickening, that we love each other, and that we want to make sure each other is okay. Have we had fights in the past? Have we had this or whatever? Fuck it, they already know all that shit, don't matter. Here's the deal.
no, it matters. It makes you have no idea. Every ounce of my credibility has been taken from. I mean, and done so in a dishonest way. You know.
Amber, the abuse thing is we've got to deal with that. Yeah. We've got to deal with that,
Amber. I
Amber.
don't have any way of my credit. It's my credibility. You know what?
And why did you put that out there?
I did not. You forced me. Your team forced me to by going on the offense.
I didn't force you to.
From the very beginning. I promise. Look up the timeline to these things. Everything is. Forget it. Forget it. You don't believe what I say. You don't believe what I say. But I did not choose this. Every step of the way has been an offense.
I did not put this anywhere. I didn't. Let me talk to the fucking team.
I did not call the cops. I did not
IO called the cops. You told IO to call the cops.
I did not call the cops, and I did not give them any statement when they came. I've been trying to protect you.
You told IO to call the cops.
While it was happening?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, because the last time that it got crazy between us, I really did think I was going to lose my life, and I thought you would do it on accident. And I told you that. I said, oh my God, I thought the first time.
Amber, I lost a fucking finger, man. Come on. I had a mineral can of mineral spirits thrown at my nose.
At this point, it ramped up.
Interesting. I'm trying to take that all in because I think that the timeline is like all over the place. So it seemed like, so this is what it seems like to me from like what I'm hearing from what they're saying and all that, jazz. It sounds like they have like a toxic relationship where like they probably bring the worst out in each other. They're probably both shitty to each other. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're both shitty. And she tried to, I guess, at one point come out and try to be like, he's an abuser. And the reality is that they're both shitty to each other. I don't think that makes Johnny Depp innocent. Except for maybe by comparison. It just sounds like this is something where it shouldn't have come out. Like necessarily, this shouldn't have been something that came out in the public eye. But does that mean that like he or that he's innocent though? I don't know. I don't really know, bro. I'm trying to like run all this through my head here. Like it's interesting.
Up to what is very much going to be remembered as the quote that I think will be what people take from this trial.
You can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and yes. I know it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
This then got asked as the final question.
And what did you say in response when Miss Heard said, tell the world, Johnny, tell them Johnny Depp, I, Johnny Depp, a man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence?
I said yes. I am.
I have nothing
Interesting. Hold on a second. I want to see something. Is that what she said?
further of tell the world.
This thing
Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp. I, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence. And
Yes.
Hold on. Wait.
tell them Johnny Depp. I, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too.
Hold on. Okay. Wait. I'm trying. There's something that's like very key here that I'm trying to listen for.
Tell them Johnny Depp. I, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic.
Okay. I'm gonna listen to this one more time. I have to like slow it down a little bit.
I, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic.
She doesn't. Okay. So she says, "I, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too." Okay. So the reason that I'm bringing that up is because when you move on,
And
Yes.
I know it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
This then got asked as the final
Hold on.
question.
And what did you say in response when Miss Heard said, tell the world, Johnny, tell them Johnny Depp, I, Johnny Depp, a man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence?
I don't think that's what she said.
Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp. I, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too.
I'm turning this up way. It's like fucking trigger warning. I'm turning this up a lot because this is a super important thing that I need to try to hear.
Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp. I, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic.
Okay. I want one more time.
Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp. I, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence. And
Yes.
Okay. The reason I'm listening is because like she doesn't say Johnny Depp, a man, am a victim too. She says I, Johnny Depp, am a man, I'm a victim too. Like it sounds like the narrative that they're trying to push here is that she is suggesting that like how could a man be a victim? That's kind of like what I'm hearing in the way that they're presenting this argument. But it sounds like she just said like, hey, I, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too. Not using man in the sense of like, I'm a man and I'm a victim. But just using like in the sense of like, oh, man, I'm a victim. You know what I mean? And the reason that I feel like that's very important to distinguish is because if she did say, I, Johnny Depp, am a man that's a victim of abuse too, that suggests that she's trying to make the argument that or downplaying like male domestic abuse survivors. But that's not what she's doing. No, it doesn't say a man. I just disagree. It doesn't say a man. It says Johnny. She's like, what are you going to say? Like, I, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a domestic. It doesn't say a man. She says man. And then they misinterpret that quote.
I know it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
Not thinking that.
This then got asked as the final question
And what did you
Play
say?
it one more time? Sure.
And see what the
from this trial.
you can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury.
At this point,
I had a fucking.
It was a fair fight, Johnny Depp. Man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp. I, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim.
This is I, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too. She's not saying a man. Yeah, she's like saying like, yeah, man, I'll go to the park. Yeah.
Tell the world violence. Tell them Johnny Depp, I, Johnny Depp, a man, I'm a victim too of
Yeah, she doesn't say that. She doesn't actually say a man. It just sounds like it doesn't sound like she's downplaying anything. She's more like, Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too. To me, what's important about that distinguishing that is it sounds like, again, the way that they phrase the question, which seems like a misinterpretation, is trying to say like, I, Johnny Depp, a man, am a victim too, and trying to suggest that she's downplaying like male abuse survivors, when it just sounds like she just said man, like bro, like the way I say bro. Yeah, she's like speaking as if it were him. I'm not saying that she's innocent in this case, but what I am saying is that it seems like that might have been an intentional misrepresentation of what she had said, but it's a difficult catch.
Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp, I, Johnny Depp, a man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence.
I said yes. I am.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
It's a massive mic drop and
Interesting.
such a major way to end Depp's statement that it will be the thing many people remember him for saying. Very well planned out, and it completely rocks Heard's defense. Now, you might have noticed externally that the media have stopped spinning it in a certain way. They used to use quite bad headlines about Depp and how he was a wife beater, but now it seems a lot more balanced. Now, from here, I think that Warner Brothers are left with
Can she object to it? I wonder if she can. I'm not super educated on it, but I doubt that her lawyers caught that. It's just interesting. I just feel like it'd be good to get. I don't know, man. It's interesting.
Very little option over what to do with Amber. Unless she's vindicated in the next 3 weeks, then they have to get rid of her. Don't know how they're going to do it. Just have Mira drown off screen or something. People don't seem to care, and it might be the one thing that finally unites all of the DC fandom. Now, firing her, they have to do it because they very much set the standard by firing Johnny, and it'll look like double standards if they don't get rid of her. They kind of made the rules. I think a lot of anger around this case boils down to the double standards surrounding the whole thing. So yeah, I think it's a really bad look, and either way, they might get rid of her even if she wins. She's even getting booed leaving the court, and the petition against her is constantly clogging.
Yeah, her lawyers objective about everything except for like a legit thing. Yeah, they're fucking stupid is why.
Up names. Jason Momoa even followed Johnny Depp on Instagram recently, and with him being the star of Aquaman, it could show how things are going. Now, I have heard that Warner Brothers kind of preempted this trial and that they ended up cutting down Amber's role by quite a lot. They could even end up recasting before that movie, depending on what the cost and backlash is. And that's pretty much how we view the trial and why we think it's going a certain way. Like I've said, we're only halfway through at the moment, so it could all really change, and things like this can reverse on one piece of evidence, so I wouldn't say it's in the bag for Johnny. We will find out who wins very soon, but in the meantime, I want to hear your comments.
Interesting. So after hearing that, what it sounds like to me is it sounds like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard have historically had, like, they've had a toxic relationship, just in general. They've been in, like, a toxic relationship where the two of them get in fights and that they're shitty to each other in different ways. It seems like there's times where Amber does things, doesn't let Johnny, like, speak. It seems like violence is happens in some... I don't know if Johnny's the one pushing for the violence or what. I don't really know the specifics. To be honest with you, it doesn't seem like either of them are innocent. I think, you know, it doesn't really seem like either of them are innocent, honestly. It seems like both of them are shitty and toxic. And, you know, it's just interesting. Because they both felt like I guess she took like a knife to defend herself and something happened with his finger. I don't know the specifics, so they didn't get into that. She said that she felt like she was going to get hurt and that maybe she actually felt that way. I don't really know. I don't know. Johnny was violent. She threw a bottle at his finger. Okay, why did she throw a bottle at his finger? I'm kind of curious about that. I'm going to look into that. During the video where Johnny was throwing shit, he never hurt Amber. Well, that doesn't really matter. Okay, just so you guys know, a lot of people keep saying that, like, during the video where Johnny was throwing shit, he never hurt Amber. That's a really weird thing for you to say. Because I feel like you're not personalizing it enough. Yeah, I don't think he actually hit her, but he definitely displayed aggression. Yeah, so here's the thing, bro. And this goes both ways. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. But, you know, a lot of times men are, like, bigger and they're usually, you seem more threatening. If a guy is getting, like, really angry and, like, slamming and breaking stuff, that doesn't mean that he's going to, like, hurt her or abuse her. But that doesn't mean that she knows that he's not going to hurt her or abuse her. And so for her to feel threatened, even if Johnny never had an intention to threaten her, I feel like you just say, well, but he never hit her. He just threw things and broke things in front of her. Do you think that that's scary? That sounds kind of scary. Obviously, we don't have the full context of the entire thing, but like it seems like people's anger against Johnny or against Amber Heard is like greater than it should probably be. Johnny Depp says his ex threw a vodka bottle at him, trying to get her to agree to send a post, which shattered and severed his finger during an argument sparked by his trying to get her to agree to a post-nuptial agreement. Depp testified that the fight as He took the stand for a second day in his defamation against Depp has accused Heard of ruining his reputation and career with false domestic abuse allegations. Heard countersued, saying Depp physically assaulted her on multiple occasions before and during their marriage, which ended in divorce. Depp says the fight in which the finger was severed happened about a month after his wedding to Heard. When she flew out to Australia to visit him, he filmed the 5th installment of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Depp says he and Heard didn't have a prenuptial agreement because the idea led to an argument leading up to their marriage, and eventually it became too late. He said, "Okay." I don't know, man. I kind of feel like after so far, and maybe we'll get more of an update on this. So far, it seems like a relationship between two people who shouldn't have been together, like having a fight. That's it, having like a fight, and I'm not like entirely sure. Hot take, how like super empathetic I am towards Johnny Depp. Other than the fact that she used like the media, I guess, to kind of weaponize the situation, possibly make him look bad. But she does seem to have some valid grievances, so I'm just saying. It's scary, but there's a video of her clearly not scared of him. She takes a step towards him while he's slamming cabinet doors. So where's that? Like, okay, let's see if we can find that video then. Can you close the door, babe? Heard. Where's the video? Like, what is the video called? Is this the...
Can you please bring up Defendant's Exhibit 638?
Is this the video?
All right. What is... Are we going to enter this into evidence, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. Move for the admission of this video into evidence.
We have no objection, Your Honor.
All right. 638 in evidence. Thank you. Now you can publish it.
Okay, let's see. Turn this down.
Motherfucker! Motherfucker!
What happened? What happened?
Do I have the video in the corner? Sorry, let me just
Nothing happened this morning, you know that?
Were you in here?
No.
So then nothing happened to you this morning?
Yeah, you're right. I just woke up and you were so sweet and nice. We were not even fighting this morning. All I did was say sorry.
Did something happen to you this morning? I don't think so.
No, that's the thing.
You want to see crazy? I'll give you fucking crazy. That's crazy. Oh, you're crazy.
is that the makeup part?
Oh, you're crazy.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going? You got this going?
I just started it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really? Sneak that shit on you,
No,
motherfucker?
I didn't. You were smashing shit.
Oh, bye.
I don't understand. Like, what's
For this,
why are we? What you guys are. The fact she's recording it says something to you. That's my wife saying that. What does it say to you that she's trying to encourage like a negative altercation in order to record it and cancel him? I would just look at it as like if she had a history of feeling like he was like shitty and abusive towards him, she might be recording it for her safety. She was laughing at the end. Who cares? People laugh when they get really upset or frustrated or angry. I'm not saying that that's what happened there, but that is like a normal human response. Do you think that she was trying to get a reaction? I didn't really get that from that. It sounded more like she started recording in the middle. She intentionally pooped in his bed during the trip. I feel like, why am I believing what you're saying? That was like in the middle of an altercation, so I don't know if the argument that she was trying to get him to go frustrated, it's true. What?
That's your house
Illegally recorded tape.
we have a date or metadata or anything on it?
Why don't we, since you have some questions about it, why don't we watch it again?
Oh, I've
Play
seen
it
it.
again, please, Michelle. Okay, you know what, we don't have to do that.
No, that's good.
We don't have to do that. This is at your house in West Hollywood on Sweetser Avenue, correct?
That's correct, sir.
And that's you in the video, Mr. Depp, right?
That's correct, sir.
And you would agree that you were violent in that clip, correct?
Clearly, I was having a bad time. I don't know what it was with regard to completely at this point, since I don't know the date. But being illegally recorded by your chosen other is, well, it's quite fitting with the rest of the photographs and tape recordings she made. So I thought what was most interesting is that she tried to hide it from me, and then that she laughed and smiled at the end. I thought that was the most interesting part myself. But so yes, I did assault.
Let me just see. I want to see the smile at the end. Talking about.
No, didn't you?
Where does she smile? Yeah, I don't know if that's like I mean that can go either way. It's up for interpretation. I feel like we could assume that she's laughing because she wants it to happen to cancel him, or we could assume that that might be like a reaction to being frustrated.
A couple of cabins, but I did not touch Miss Heard. As you can see, I think. No.
And you may have been drunk in that video, correct?
Probably, yeah.
There's a possibility of that, yes, sir.
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
Yeah.
I poured myself a large glass of wine.
Right.
I thought it necessary.
Right. Well, let's look at UK 101, please.
Where did she say no one won't believe you? I didn't hear that. Thanks, baby.
UK 101.
Yeah, this is day one.
Day.
You see there at line 5, do you have the page up?
I don't see 101 yet, sir. Sorry.
Okay, sorry, take your time.
I've got a bit of a bushel here. 101. Sorry.
It's in the volume for day one. If that helps.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm looking through, but it's all it's a bit of a jumble. Oh, sorry. Here, page 101. Is that what you like?
Yes, sir.
Great.
And just since you seemed amused by the terminology, you were asked the question, you were drunk, I'm going to suggest. What do you say to that? Answer, I may have been.
Where are we, sir?
Line 5.
Thank you.
Question, you were drunk, I'm going to suggest. What do you say to that? Answer, I may have been. I do not recall. The chances are very good that I was, if I was upset. Question, we saw you pour a sort of, answer, mega pint. Question, mega pint of red wine, which is not everybody's choice for breakfast, is it? Answer, no. Did I read that right?
You did.
And you were very, very upset.
I mean, like, just fundamentally, I mean, when you're frustrated, people don't like. It's not pretend that everybody has the positive vices. Like when I get upset, I eat or I'll smoke cigarettes. Like I don't, you know what I mean? It's like others aren't good for me. The issue would come in like how often are you upset? How often do you use it to cope? It being a bad habit doesn't necessarily make him an alcoholic per se. It doesn't mean that it's good. It means like probably a dependency, like an emotional dependency to something when you're in a bad mood. Okay.
Said in that video, correct?
I think that's pretty clear, yes.
And you would agree that your behavior in that clip could be intimidating to anyone present in that room, correct?
Objection calls for speculation.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. You would agree that your behavior was intimidating, correct?
Objection calls for speculation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Now you're a lot bigger than Amber, correct? Physically?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you agree with me that the standards of a Southern gentleman were not in your mind in this particular moment, were they?
I don't know about anyone else, but I have had experiences in my life where one does stray from complete control over their emotions at times, and
I will, because here's one. Like, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to say, "Well, you're a guy and you're scary because you're stronger than Amber Heard," which is probably true. I mean, he's a guy. Even if they're the same weight and height, it doesn't matter. Like, men tend to be stronger even at the same height weight capacity. But I don't think that necessarily matters here. I think if your significant other is doing things that you feel are threatening, which is probably the argument here, you might get upset, and if you don't want to respond with the same violence, you might want to do something else, like call the cops or something. Like, I don't think it's a hot take that Amber might have been upset by what's happening here, especially if this is something that happens somewhat consistently. The problem is that we're speculating on like this situation, which is fucking bizarre. I guess that's what we have to do. I don't think it's unreasonable for her to be upset, and I just feel like it's weird
over their emotions at times.
And then people are like, Amber looks like she's trying not to laugh, and it's like, why are you saying that? Like, what? Like, I don't get that at all. You guys have, it's really interesting, like, how much you guys are emotionally invested in this situation in a way that I feel like might be blinding some of you guys and making you more biased. Like, it seems like you guys are like really desperate to hate on Amber Heard. I'm not saying she's a good person. It seems like, again, what it seems like a very toxic relationship where the both of them did shitty things, and that she may have seriously felt threatened, or maybe she wanted to just hurt his reputation, and so she misinterpreted it and put it into the public. That's totally possible. But it's interesting how much you guys are like downplaying everything. It's like, oh, she recorded, so it must be dishonest. Well, what would you do if you were hypothetically, if you were with somebody who was like doing things that scared you? What would you do? Wouldn't you record it so that you had a defense? I don't think that that's unreasonable. It's just weird that you guys are so against Amber Heard. Not that you agree with Johnny Depp, or maybe you have some kind of like a bias, but you guys are so anti Amber Heard. It's really interesting.
And that is a very normal, primal thing to do.
Like, what he's saying is kind of weird. Like, yeah, sometimes you kind of lose control of yourself. And like, yeah, it could be very normal. That doesn't make it it's not scary to people.
I did not.
You wouldn't think of recording. You'd confront them. I just feel like. I feel like that's a very. I don't know. I could see why somebody like it's me too. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I would as well, but I also wouldn't expect everybody to operate like that. You know. What else is there that you guys want me to see that makes you feel like I might like be like completely on Johnny Depp's side? Okay, so let's see. New full phone call of Johnny and Amber Heard. Okay. Okay, I guess we have to.
When the 6-month thing process starts, and so I text you this, and I guess you don't remember it, but I text you that at the very beginning, and I said, and by the way, it's like a miracle. It didn't get noticed, so we can even do this privately, and it will be quiet, and I said, unless you file, and you don't have to file, and I was trying to explain to you my limited understanding of the.
My filing did nothing, and all it's required.
No, it's not.
It is required to acknowledge you've been filed against, and you file it as well.
No, you do not. You make you can make an acknowledgement of some kind. You don't have to file back. When you file back in the court, I'm not lying. I'm really even just trying to. You're trying to. I feel like you're trying to defend yourself, and I'm. You don't have to defend your team. We know where's the up. But you hear me, right? You hear me? Please stop defending yourself. I'm not trying to fight with you. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. This is truth. I don't know why you're so angry about hearing it, why you're so defensive.
Baby, I'm not angry.
I want to know all the information.
I'm not angry. I want this to go away. I'm trying to talk you into making this go away.
Then you need to know the real truth behind this, and this is important. This was completely private and was under the radar, and you did not have to file back. And I warned you that day. I said you don't have to file back. If you file back, this stuff just isn't discovered. And I was thinking naively that it would just be discovered by the way that like TMZ typically discovers these things. I didn't know it would be hand delivered to them within 5. So it was like 5 minutes. Not even.
What is this? Fucking key just came out. What is this supposed to be about? Like, I'm not.
I did not know it would be given. It was given to TMZ within 5 minutes of it being filed. And
Okay.
All right, cross-examination. You can sit down now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Johnny Depp trial. New details on Amber Heard's personality disorder. Okay.
Dr. Curry, you're not board certified, correct?
No, I'm not.
Not in clinical psychology or in forensic psychology, correct?
No, I'm a licensed clinical psychologist.
But you're not board certified?
No.
Okay. And you also have only been practicing approximately 8 years, is that correct?
That's not correct.
How many years?
I've been licensed for 10 years,
Okay.
and I've been practicing for about 15 years.
Okay.
tell them Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and
Yes.
I know it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe
Oh, this is what you guys wanted me to listen to.
between us. I really did think I was going to lose my life, and I thought you would do it on accident. And I told you that. I said, oh my God, I thought for the first time.
Amber, I lost a finger, man. Come on. I had a mineral can of mineral spirits thrown at my nose.
You can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and
Yes.
it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
It doesn't matter if it's a fair fight.
Exactly, because you're bigger and you're stronger. And so when I say that I thought you could kill me, that doesn't mean you counter with you also that you lost your own finger. I am not trying to attack you here. I'm just trying to point out the fact of why I said call 911. Because you had your hands on me after you threw a phone in my face, and I just got crazy in the past, and I truly thought I need to stop this madness before I get hurt.
Oh my God.
And I never think about myself that way. I never defend myself that way. I never see myself as a victim. And to a fault, you know?
All right, yeah.
And I when they came, I did not cooperate with them. It has been used against me, not by the media, by your side. Who said, look.
What do you mean? Where's the media? It's all out in the media. Why is my...
DMV is in your pocket and you don't even know it? Oh, I mean, well, I was at the courthouse while TMZ was posting things. At the courthouse, while I'm at the courthouse, they're posting things about the cops never coming, right? Then we provide proof. Then they say, oh, just one set of police officers. Then they retract their story, but they don't actually retract it like an objective media source would. No, what do? They just come out with a new lie. They go, oh, well, it was just one pair of cops, and she said it was two. And I said, no, here's the proof. We just subpoenaed the building.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I don't see her saying nobody will believe. Well, I get what you're saying, but she's saying nobody will believe you're the victim because within the context that she's like, oh, I thought you were gonna hurt me, and then he's like, well, my finger got cut open too, and he's like, well, nobody's gonna believe you're the victim. I don't think that she's saying this in a way to invalidate male victims. I feel like that narrative has been spun. Fuck, I didn't mean to do that.
All right,
Okay.
Okay. And you also have only been practicing approximately 8 years, is that correct?
That's not correct.
How many years?
I've been licensed for 10 years, and I've been practicing for about 15 years.
Okay, and that includes what you went through with your different trials in Hawaii and everything else that you testified to, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you went to Mr. Depp's home for dinner and drinks before you were hired as an expert in this case, correct?
That's not quite right. I was interviewed at Mr. Depp's home by his legal team. Dinner was served.
You, in attendance with Mr. Depp was Adam Waldman, correct?
Yes.
Ben Chu, correct?
Yes.
Camille Vasquez?
Yes.
Okay. And the dinner lasted approximately 3 to 4 hours, correct?
Yes.
And it included
The interview.
drinks, correct?
Yes. Dinner and I believe drinks were served.
Okay. And this was before you were hired as an expert, correct?
Yes. This was an interview so that they could make an informed decision as to whether or not to retain me.
And don't you think that's a little odd that you're getting interviewed by Mr. Depp to decide whether you're going to testify adversely against Amber Heard?
I was interviewed by the legal team.
Okay. And Mr. Depp was present. It was his home, correct?
Yes.
And he was serving dinner and drinks.
He was not serving dinner and drinks.
Well, it was at his house at his behest, correct?
Yes, it was at his house.
Okay. And you were contacted by Camille Vasquez, somebody you knew in the community, in February of 2020. Is that correct?
I knew of Ms. Vasquez professionally. We live in the same city, and I work with many attorneys.
Okay. And at that time, you not only knew Johnny Depp, you'd seen a number of his TV and movie roles, and you believed he was a good actor, correct?
Not correct. I did not know Johnny Depp. I'd
You
seen
knew
several of
him.
his movies.
You knew who he was?
Yes.
Right. And you believed he was a good actor?
Yes.
Correct? Okay. And then you provided an expert designation in this case before ever seeing Amber or having an opportunity to review any documents or records. Isn't that correct?
I did not provide an expert designation. That's an attorney thing. My opinions are contained in my report.
Let's pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 884, please. This was plaintiff's designation, identification of expert witnesses in this case. And this is dated February 2021. That's a year after you went to dinner at Mr. Depp's house, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And it attributes, if you go to page 13, it says you have 3 opinions. The first of those is that Amber Heard, quote, exhibits patterns of behavior that are consistent with co-occurring cluster B personality disorder traits, especially borderline personality disorder. Did I get that right?
I'm reading that here. That is not my opinion.
Okay.
Well,
but
it's a current opinion, but this was not an opinion of mine then. I didn't have any opinions at that time.
It says Dr. Curry will testify, correct?
That's what it says, yes.
Okay. And this is a signed pleading, correct? On behalf of Mr. Depp.
Okay, so I want to listen to this. Somebody said, I didn't punch you, I was hitting you.
Exhibit 343. And for the record, this is an audio recording. And it's quite lengthy, so we intend to play certain portions of it.
Okay. Any objection?
No objection, other than we'd just like to know what minute, second portions they're going to play.
Okay, but the entire audio is in evidence, correct?
Yes.
Any objection? All right, 343 in evidence.
If you'd like me to read the specific minutes now, or we can provide it to counsel
Okay,
afterwards.
if you want now, ready to go? Okay.
We intend to play minute 25, 37 seconds through 26, 28, 1 hour and 57 minutes, 21 seconds through, and then 4 clips.
I want to say something to you, but it was okay. That's the promise you gave me a little while ago. I'm telling you, if you lost memory last night of kicking me out the door with the fucker hitting me,
Again,
and
sorry.
and your memory is gone from you kicking the bathroom door and hitting me in the skull as I was bent
Again,
down.
I am
Wait,
sorry.
if you have those memory fucking divots.
I was upset. There was a lot going on,
Okay,
and I was
wait.
on an Ambien. Like,
Okay,
why are you obsessing over the fact I can't remember it the way you remembered it? I said I was sorry. I didn't deny
know
it.
that. I'm not talking about that. What I want.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it sounds like they're both not great to each other. It sounds like they're both kind of shitty to each other. It sounds like they're like engaged in a mutually toxic, shitty situation together. I don't think that it's fair to say that somebody is a domestic abuser to you when you're doing the same thing back. It's not okay either way. They shouldn't be together. But like, if you guys are both hitting each other or getting drunk or going on, it sounds like she was on an Ambien, right? So she's on some kind of pill, and then like she does something, then hurts him, and then maybe he gets drunk, and then he does something and hurts her, and it's like, well, it's shitty. You know, does that speak to his character as an abuser? I don't think so. Like, I know this is an uncomfortable take, but sometimes like two people who shouldn't be together being together brings out the worst in those people. You know, that's not an excuse to hurt somebody, though. You know what I mean? But like, it doesn't make them like, if it just seems like it's both back and forth. It also kind of seems like she does more when she gets drunk or inebriated in some capacity than he does to her. This isn't a domestic abuse case, it's defamation. Yeah, I know. Yeah. What else do we got here? Some uncomfortable sounds.
It's not to get you mad. It's not to get. It's just to get out of a bad situation while it's happening before it gets worse. In Australia, when we had the big fight where I lost the tip of my finger, at least 5 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms I went to.
To avoid talking to me.
To escape the fight.
You don't escape the fight. You escape the solution.
No.
You escape the solution.
No.
You escape figuring it out. We cannot work it out if you run away to the bathroom every time.
Listen to me.
I mean, I would have probably walked away too if somebody cut my fucking finger open. Bro, listen, sometimes when you get angry, you need to walk away before you, like, when my wife and I fight, sometimes we just don't talk for like an hour. And then we come back and then we talk about things. That's okay.
You can't go 12 rounds without a fucking minute break.
I'm not giving you a minute break. You do it at minute 3 at the beginning of an argument.
No. There are rounds, man. And when it gets too fucking hairy, the ref splits them apart or whatever. But all I'm saying is, you can't have a solution if the argument just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting and mounting. I fucking go into the bathroom and sit on the floor. Bam, 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 here you come. I come out. Fight, crazy, escalated. I go split again, I go to another fucking bathroom or bedroom or something. Knock, 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 bang, bang, bang. You kept coming to get me.
Okay.
The one who fucking... I'm not the one who fucking throws fucking pots and...
Those are different. That's different.
Else at me.
That's different.
Why?
That's one does not negate the other. That's irrelevant. It's a complete non sequitur. Just because I've thrown pots and pans does not...
there we go. Amber Heard's a fucking debate, bro. That's what happened.
Not mean that you come and knock on the door. Just because there are bases does not mean that you come and knock on the door.
Really, I should just let you throw...
I'm not saying that. You're saying that. You're putting words in my mouth and then making non sequiturs.
I'm giving you a situation.
No, you're trying to justify how you don't or do come to the door.
All right, relax, Hassan. Okay, take it easy.
Not whether I throw pots and pans. It's irrelevant.
I'm justifying how you seem to think that there's this cowardice in me that runs away and I don't fight for you.
And you're justifying that by saying I throw pots and pans? Okay, cool. Let's talk about everything you do wrong.
I'm not the one who...
Okay, well, Jesus Christ.
Hey, tell Travis what just happened.
Oh, you told me to do it. You told me to. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just
And
happened.
I lied.
That you punched me in
You're
the
right.
fucking thing. And
You figured it out.
And you said, no, fuck it, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? And I watched you lie. And then
I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, you've been in a lot of fights. You've been around a long time. No, yeah.
No, when you fucking have a close...
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are you?
Yikes. Holy shit. That's not good. I mean, regardless of whether it did or didn't hurt, because that's basically seems to be like kind of our arguments. Like, I just hit you. It didn't even hurt. Doesn't really matter if it actually did or didn't hurt. You know how irrelevant that is? Because hot take, it's really upsetting when somebody that you're in love with hits you, even if it doesn't hurt. And I've been there. It's like sad. It's like really sad. You know what I mean? Like, what? So that argument doesn't even matter. Okay.
What am I supposed to do? Do this? I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you
are such a baby! Grow the fuck up, Johnny!
Physical fights?
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did, so I had
because,
to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You're admirable.
So what did she want him to do? Punch her back? Okay. Wow.
Mr. Depp, could you please explain to the jury what they just heard on those audio recordings?
Well, basically, Amber Heard's a cunt. Like, that's what. That's only what it said.
What was displayed on the audio recordings was very much the tone and the aggression and the attitude and the need for a fight from Ms. Heard. That was, I don't know if that was some need for attention, but that was a sound that I had gotten very used to. The squabbling, the raising.
What, you got tics like I do? Because I do this sometimes. Now I'm doing it. Fuck. I'm just trying to show you guys the tick and on. Okay.
Of the voice.
Fuck. Okay, go ahead.
To essentially.
I made a joke about her having a tick, and then it actually triggered my tics. Fuck. Okay.
Excommunicate anything that I had to say about the situation.
Okay.
But then. And I do remember that incident. I believe that's from the when I was in the bathroom and I was in fact taking a shower, and this was in penthouse 3, and she came banging on the door. I didn't answer. I was in the shower. I couldn't deal with it. I didn't want to deal with any more of that sarcastic, demeaning, aggressive, violent, toxic spew. And so I was taking a shower and I didn't want to answer the door. She kept banging. And then I finally got out of the shower and I opened the bathroom door about just that much, just so I could have a good hold on the door in case she tried to burst in. And I was right, she did. Bathroom doors go in. She was pushing all her weight on the door, trying to get in. And I was pushing back because I didn't want to let her in because I obviously didn't want the confrontation. She was not in the best of moods. You can hear. So when I was pushing the bathroom door, trying to close it, and was almost closed, she suddenly kind of yelped in pain. And she screamed out, "Ow, my toes or my foot or something." And so in that second, I thought possibly her foot had gotten caught under the door, which would, of course, not feel great on the foot or the toe, so I thought she was maybe injured. So I knelt down to have a look. The door was still, it was still pretty well about that much open. And when I knelt down on my hands and knees to look at her foot to see the injury, she kicked the bathroom door into my head. Yeah, she kicked the bathroom door into my head.
That cabinet was when his mom died? Okay.
And
okay.
I was completely taken aback by such a corrosive, horrific move. So I stood up, and I believe I stood up, and but at this point the door was open. I stood up and I said, I think I said, "What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?" And the next move was just a bang, and she clocked me in the jaw. And
Jesus,
that was another shocker.
How long after that did you start recording?
Sorry?
How long after that did you start recording that audio recording that we just heard?
That audio recording was about her trying to make less of what had happened. In fact, trying to make less of what had happened by repeating some story to me that didn't make any sense, and it certainly didn't make any sense since I was there and I was the target.
Wow, she really is Hassan, just trying to rewrite history.
So I wanted...
Not funny, sorry.
Some confirmation from someone with some semblance of a mind that could understand what was happening. I wanted Mr. McGivern to come up, and I asked her to tell him what had just happened. And her answer was essentially, "I don't know what he's talking about. Nothing happened. He's fine." And
okay.
Once again, I told Mr. McGivern, time to leave the premises.
Mr. Depp, I'd like to show you now what's been marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit 162.
Thank you so much for watching, guys, and another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down to the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.